If you want to learn how to become more abundant, you clicked on the right podcast. If you want to learn what abundance is, you clicked on the right podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a Stronger You podcast. My name is Jessica, your host, and today we're diving into all things abundance, what abundance is, how to become more abundant in all areas of your life. If you're new here, hello. We dive all into the science behind manifestation and mindset. Also, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessica. I am a master NLP practitioner, an EFT tapping practitioner. Basically, what that all means is I know how to talk to your subconscious mind. I've studied the subconscious mind and manifestation for over 6 years. So let's just dive right in. I felt super called to create this podcast topic because obviously I talk about abundance like it's my birthright because it is. You see what I did there? And I really wanted to create an episode all about abundance. And I want to first start off by saying abundance isn't just money. Abundance, I Googled the exact definition. Abundance is a state of being that reflects a sense of fullness, plentiness, and overflowing possibilities. It goes beyond wealth and money, okay, to include a richness in all areas of life. So abundance is richness in all areas of life. It doesn't mean that you are a bajillionaire. Abundance is overflow. Abundance is attracting things to you: love, health, happiness, opportunities, personal growth. And what's super interesting is abundance isn't a thing that you get. It's not like a physical, tangible thing. You can see it, right? When you see abundance, things are abundant. But abundance, like I mentioned before in the definition, it's a state of being. It begins with how you think. So if you want to go from focusing on the negative, feeling lack, feeling fear when it comes to anything in life, like not having enough, not being enough, worried that you're not going to have enough resources. The complete opposite of that, which is a lack, scarcity mindset, is an abundant mindset. So it's basically the belief that there's more than enough out there for everyone and that you are deserving of the good in life. Like I mentioned, the opposite of abundance is lack. The opposite of abundance is being in a scarcity mindset. And I'll tell you this, all of this information is to bring awareness to you. If you categorize yourself or your old self, because we are always stepping into the newest, highest, strongest version of ourselves. If you categorize your old self as being in that scarcity mindset, that's okay. This is all to bring awareness because you cannot change what you're not aware of. So now that you are aware of this, we get to step into the abundance mindset and you get to do it right now. It doesn't matter what society and the government and everything has programmed us to be. If you turn on the news is a great example of seeing what a scarcity, lack, low vibrational mindset is, okay? Well, most of the news, right? I guess there are some good news channels, but I just don't even watch the news. But when you put on like a regular news station, what are they doing? They're drilling fear into your mind. They're drilling scarcity. Like, oh my gosh, there was this in the world. Always something bad. Because they want us to live in that mindset. Because once humans understand what an abundance mindset is, we become fucking unstoppable. We become unstoppable. And I was presented with this information about 5 years ago, and more recent, it's just my knowledge and my own personal studies on this is just getting more stronger and stronger because I used to be the type of person who would be in a scarcity mindset and lack. Like if we're going to talk about money, right? My money mindset was horrible. Even though I was, at one point in my life, I had a full-time job and I was getting consistent income, which was it was a really good amount of income. I still had a shitty money mindset and I still lived in scarcity. Also, abundance, like I said, is a mindset. You could be a millionaire, but you could be living in a scarcity mindset. I've literally I had someone in my life at one point who was a multimillionaire and had a scarcity lack mindset. Okay. So y'all are manifesting millions, right? So let's start with our mindset, because once we start on the internal, everything on the outside world matches that. Like I mentioned before, abundance is your birthright. Abundance is my birthright. Abundance is my birthright. Abundance is my birthright. Let's say it 10 times. So I want to dive into this book that I read. That's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Okay. If you want to dive into a book about how to get rich, the science behind getting rich in all areas of your life, check out this book. I will say it's not the easiest read. If you're a beginner reader, I will say this isn't the easiest read. And I say that because it's taken me like 5 damn times picking up this book and putting it down, because the way he explains it is very, I would say the words are on the bigger side, but give it a try. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in this book, he talks about the difference between, in this book, he talks about how abundance is our birthright and how we are never going to run out of things. And so he speaks about something that's called the formless substance. So basically the universe is made up of infinite, intelligent, formless substance that permeates everything. So these type of formless substance are raw material from which all things are created and is unlimited. So when they say, oh, we're running out of this, we're running out of that, there's no way, because we have this thing that's called formless substance on the earth. Before all of these physical things were here, before this table was here, this microphone was here, before we could create sandwiches, before we could create water bottles, it all came from formless substance, raw material that is everlasting here on the earth. It's nature. So with understanding that will help you understand that abundance is never ending. And there's abundance every fucking where. I get it. Sometimes there's like, the thing that happened in California with the wildfires, like, sending my heart and my love and my prayers to everyone who was affected by it. But when there's things like that in the world, okay, like I'm, again, like sending my heart and my love and my prayer to them. And there's still abundance in the world that's going to support all those people who lost all those things to regain it. And again, I understand, like I don't know how many times I can say this, but like I'm really, truly, truly deeply sending my heart and my prayers out there, because I can only imagine what it's like to lose your home. Like I was robbed. My car was broken into and they stole my stuff. And like, I felt like I was vandalized. I felt like I was raped. I felt like I was robbed, and I was robbed, but that is similar, but totally different than having your home taken from you. So sending prayers that way, deeply, deeply, deeply. So also coming back to the book, The Science of Getting Rich, according to Wattles, which is the author, thoughts are the creative force that mold this formless substance into tangible realities. So basically what that means are our thoughts, our creative beings who have thoughts, we have a million fucking thoughts a day, is what force the formless mold into physical, tangible substances, like a water bottle, like a desk, like a book. And when you hold a clear, definite vision in your mind and combine it with faith and gratitude, you then influence that formless substance to take the form of your desires. So have you ever heard of people talking about the 5D? The 5D is basically a part of the universe that you cannot see. That's where all the things are happening behind the scenes. So like sometimes I say, there's a version of you that has the man. There's a version of you that has the successful business, that has a successful job. That's in the 5D. It's the unseen. And it takes unwavering faith and gratitude to manifest that into your 3D physical reality. We are living in the 3D now. And like I mentioned before, that substance I'm talking about, it doesn't ever run out. There's enough for everyone to have exactly what they want without taking from others. So let's talk about that right there. If there's enough for everyone to have what they want without taking for others, it doesn't matter if there's someone in the same field as you who's doing the same thing. Like there are other manifestation coaches. I'm okay with that. I love that. I want that. I want more people to teach this stuff, right? I like to say, there's no one teaching the way I teach. No one diving into it the way I've diving into it. No one's has the experience I have, which allows me to understand I am unique in my own way. So are they. So is he. So is she. So are you. And so I don't have to worry that Joe Schmo built a business right next to my business and they're going to take my clients. I don't think like that because I think in the abundance mindset. That just means there's more coming. That just means there's more coming. So I want you to think of the formless substance as like Netflix, Disney Plus, or Spotify. So those are platforms that have an infinite library of shows, of movies, of podcasts, of music, right? But what you experience depends on what you choose to search for and press play on. So just like the formless substance that we cannot see, the streaming library isn't ever used up. You can always stream. You can always look for more music, more movies. If someone else watches the show or listens to a song, it's still available for everyone else at any time without running out. And thinking about the search bar, right? Searching for music, podcasts, movies, your thoughts are the search bar. So what you focus on is what you type into the search bar will determine on what appears for you because your thoughts create your reality on a consistent basis. If you think of something one time, it's not going to manifest. Consistent. So if you search for dramas, you're going to see dramas. If you search for a stronger you is going to pop up. And pressing play on the movies, on the podcast is the faith. So you don't ever doubt that your show will stream when you hit play. You just trust the system. Sometimes the system crashes. We cannot control that. But 99.9999% of the time, it plays. And that takes faith because you trust. This is like having faith in the formless substance, what we cannot see, to bring your thoughts into reality, to bring the abundance to you. You trust it. You trust that it works, even if you cannot see it happening behind the scenes. That is so important. A lot of my clients inside the Manifestation Academy will say to me, Jess, like I see all these people manifesting their jobs, their, 6-figure businesses, their SPs, love, health, changing in their physical appearance, but I don't see it. And I tell them, if you focus on not seeing it, you're not going to see it. Are you trusting? Do you have unwavering faith? Like faith that it's going to come because we are not in control of the time. We just get to have patience and have faith and obviously do the other work behind the scenes. So I want to talk more about examples of abundance in your life. Obviously, we know abundance comes in the form of money. So finances, having the money to meet your needs, all things money. But it's more than just money. You can have abundance of relationships, having deep, loving connections with your friends and family and partners. That's abundance. Abundance of health, having this vibrant energy of a physical well-being. That's abundance. An abundance of opportunities, an overflow of opportunities, possibilities to grow, learn, and manifest your goals. So I want to invite you to start looking at what you do have. A lot of us focus on what we don't have, and that's why we keep manifesting more of what we don't have. But when we focus on the good, the positive, what we do have, more positive things get to happen. So let's finish up this episode by diving into 5 things that you could do right now to get out of the scarcity mindset and step into that abundant, magnetic, wealthy woman or man mindset. So I wrote these down so I can have this to, I was like, what are 5 ways? I want to talk about this on the podcast. So number 1, let me just grab a sip of water. Okay. Number 1 is shifting your language from I cannot do that to how can I do that? Words are spells. That's why they call them spelling. Words shape your reality. So when you say I can't afford something or I'll never have that, you're literally reinforcing scarcity in your mindset. You're reinforcing that fear versus how can I afford that? Or how can I make this possible? Or That's going to happen one day. That starts to open up your mind to solutions and opportunities. So start literally action step, because we take action on these podcasts so we can actually see change. Stop saying I can't. Take that shit out of your vocabulary. I want you to write down the word I can't right now. Write it down on a piece of paper or after this podcast. Crumble it up, throw that shit out. Make it real. Pause the podcast and do that right now. Okay, you're back. So you threw out I can't. Now your new replacement is how can I? It's just like addictions. When you take an addiction out of your life, it's very important to replace it with something or else you're going to go right back to it. So instead of saying I cannot, how can I? Or how can I make this possible? Number 2, shifting out of scarcity to abundance. Practice gratitude every single day for what you already have. Open up your bank account. Show gratitude to the money that you have. Look at your closet. Show gratitude to blah, 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 blah. Show gratitude to all the clothes that you do have, all the underwear you have, all the socks you have, all the pants you have. Even if it's 2, that's 2 more than the homeless person on the street has. Show gratitude. Stop focusing on that you don't have the newest Chanel bag, that you don't have the newest Skims outfit. Show gratitude to what you have because the universe is listening. And when it hears that you're grateful and you're abundant, you're going to magnetize that toward you. It's like a magnet. It draws to you what you're mirroring at, what you are, what you're speaking into existence. Whew, that one came out from the heart. Number 3, we're going to shift from things that are challenges to opportunities. Any type of challenge in your life is now an opportunity, even a hard challenge. So why does this work? Challenges basically resemble roadblocks. So by reframing them as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, will train your brain to focus on solutions rather than the problems. So instead of saying this is so hard, let's write that down right now, crumble it up, throw it out, pause the podcast, and then come back. Awesome, you threw it out. Now, what you're going to say instead of this is so hard, this is helping me grow. Stop saying shit is hard. It's going to help you grow, right? Oh, this is hard. Like, for me, example, in Pilates, this is where I get to practice. Okay, I'm going to do this work with y'all. This week, I'm going to go take a Pilates class in Miami. And instead of saying this is hard, because that's what goes through my head 24/7 when I'm in that class, I'm going to put in my head, this is helping me grow. This is helping me grow. This is helping me grow. I'm doing it. Number 4, getting out of a scarcity mindset into an abundant mindset is so simple. Create an abundance ritual. So rituals are just like methods and formulas that you create for your own practices. And when you do it consistently, it signals to your subconscious mind that you're intentionally calling in abundance. So everything we do is intentional, whether we know it, like whether we're setting our intentions or not. So being intentional with calling in abundance sends a signal to the universe and to God that we're calling it in and more is going to come to you. Just do it. Just do it. Give it a try. So you can start with things like my abundance rant inside the Manifestation Academy, or I have a money and an abundance self-talk rant on site. I'm getting tongue twisted on this podcast, and we're not doing any editing, so we're keeping it all in. I have a podcast of an abundance self-talk rant. Put that on. Start your day with that. If you're inside the Manifestation Academy, I taught you guys and I brought in a training of creating your manifestation routine. That's also your abundance ritual, right? Because everything we do when we're doing our manifestation practice is formed on abundance. Okay. So basically, a self-talk rant is when you spend time to just fucking rant in a positive way. A lot of people are like, sorry for that negative rant. Do you have time for me to rant? It's like, instead of blurting out all the negative shit, let's add in some positive things. Yes, it's important to get things out. Like if you have negative thoughts, get them out, whether it's through talking, whatever it is. But once it's out, then we're going to bring in the positive self-talk rant. Let's bring it in. Like, I'm grateful for the clients that are pouring into my business. I'm grateful for the money that's overflowing into my account. I'm grateful for the thousands of people inside of my business. I'm grateful for the hundreds of paying clients that I manifested in 3 weeks. I'm grateful for my freedom that I have to travel to Miami whenever I want, to buy a first class ticket, to go shopping. to buy organic foods. I'm so grateful. I'm so abundant. Bonus tip, do this shit in front of the mirror. If you're inside the academy, I have a whole training on my specific mirror self-talk formula, mirror work. Go check it out. Last but not least, number 5, give before you receive. If you didn't listen to the last podcast, you should probably go listen to that after this. The law of giving and receiving teaches that when we're generous, it creates an energetic flow. When we give, we're going to receive. But giving from a place of giving without expecting receiving, it's going to happen. It might happen in a different way, but just giving just to give. And when you give freely just to give, you signal trust to the universe and to God that you are ready to make room to receive abundance. Okay. What are some examples of giving before you receive? Donate your time to a shelter. Go help out a friend who's might be struggling with something. Like, for example, I have 2 examples of how I've given recently. I mean, there's a million examples, but 2 that stick out is my friend, her dog is going through kidney failure right now. He's 2 years old. He's an applehead chihuahua. I'll actually add into the show notes the GoFundMe page. So if anyone wants to donate, go ahead and do that. Even if it's $1, $5, $10, all of that is definitely felt. His name is Fabio. He's a stay-at-home chihuahua in Miami. I'm actually going to see him hopefully this week. But anyway, so I donated. I gave my money without expecting anything in return, just giving just to give. And if you don't have money to give, right? If we're going to talk about giving in a different situation, you can give your time. So here's another specific example. I have a friend who's actually a business partner of mine, and she is launching a new business. And I said to her, hey, I would love to give support to you once a week where we show up to hold you accountable. She doesn't have to pay me. I'm just giving my time just to give. I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm just giving. So with the law of giving and receiving, as you heard on the last podcast, the more you give, the more you're going to receive. But it's very important for you to be aware of, are you over giving and are you over receiving? Because we don't want to be overflowing in either of the areas. We want it to be balanced. And how do we know what's balanced? You ask yourself, am I giving too much? Sometimes we don't know. So that's why it's amazing to have a coach and friends who will call you out on your shit. Like, hey, Jess, you're giving so much. When was the last time you received? As you heard, was it the last podcast or the podcast before I talked to y'all about how the months of November and December, I was just giving. I gave myself a week off to just receive love, time, and energy because I was over giving and I burned out. So those are 5 examples of how you can get out of that scarcity mindset and tap into the abundance mindset. This podcast was amazing. I feel like these podcasts keep getting better and better. If y'all are interested in joining the Manifestation Academy, the enrollment is now open. It's not going to be open forever. So go click the link down in the description. Right now, depending on when you're listening to this, it's literally only $37 a month. If you can afford Netflix and if you can afford a Hulu, you can afford this. But the difference is, instead of searching on Netflix for your shows and you don't see any, imagine investing $37 a month in a program, in a membership, where you have access to my exact manifestation blueprint. You have access to the whole community of like-minded people. You have one-on-one group calls with me once per week. We're hopping on our next one tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST. My whole EFT tapping library, my whole visualization library. I'm setting you guys up for success. So go check it out. Links in the description. Again, words are splurring, because I'm super excited. I'm about to call my Uber right now to take my ass to the airport so I could get my ass in my first class seat, because your girl manifested a first class ticket to Miami. All right, y'all. I love you so much. Have a beautiful, abundant day. Leave a comment if this podcast helped you. I love you guys all for leaving the reviews and listening and sharing your feedback. I'll see you guys next week on my next episode. Bye.